Hello everybody, my name is Miss Bender and I am going to be your lab instructor for the semester. This video is going to show you more around the online aspect for my online students because this semester I do indeed teach two courses. I teach a online only lab at Chattahoochee Tech and I teach a face-to-face lab on Wednesday evenings on the Paulding campus from 7:30 to 10 o'clock in the evening. So this is an introduction video for both, and I will show you around the online world, but I will be sharing this with my face-to-face class as well. My name is Miss Bender. You guys will get to know me throughout the semester. I have been teaching at Chattahoochee Tech for 3 years now, and I'm here to teach you guys anatomy and physiology. So, first things first, you have to log into Blackboard in order to get to things, and then we'll go over your schedule and everything else later. We're going to choose your course, so this is one of my lab classes, and I'm going to turn this on to student preview, so I will see exactly what you guys see. So this is the home page, and I'm going to show you around a little bit. For discussion boards, you have the discussion boards and the different systems and topics for you guys to ask questions or talk to whoever you want. But a good place to start is start here. This brings you to a course information tab where we have our projected learning schedule, the syllabus, your lab list, your lab safety guides, and the lab safety quiz. Right? Let's look at your syllabus first, shall we? So I'm going to open up your syllabus. So like I said, my name is Miss Bender. I am Megan Bender. This is my email address, meganbender@chattahoocheetech.edu. It is the best way to contact me. The school prefers if you contact me via your student email address, so please feel free to do so. This is the adjunct instructor phone line. They will leave messages and then send the messages in a video clip or a sound clip over through email to me. Office hours, I'm not full-time, so you have to make an appointment for me to be there. This would, of course, be your CRN, biology, this is lab. For my face-to-face students, you'll have your correct CRN and the campus room. I believe it is on the Paulding campus in room 205, as well as 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Wednesdays for these lines. I just opened up the course that's my online lab, but that is essentially what you will need. You will need the Respondus browser in order to take your lab exams if you are taking my online class and will be taking the midterm and final via the internet. If you are in my face-to-face class, congratulations, you need writing utensils because I have everything else for you. But that's basically what you need. The lab manual here it's good supplemental information for the lecture part of the course as well, but for laboratory purposes, that lab manual honestly is mostly there for pictures and for you to be able to see images and learn the basic anatomy. If you can do that without the lab manual or with the pictures that I give to you, you can skip and save yourself the money, because any of the end of chapter questions and that sort of thing aren't actually printed for you in the lab manual. They are online only through Blackboard, which is how they lowered the price of the lab manuals because they cut printing those pages out of the manual, basically. You're paying for less paper, but it's online now. Your course description, we cover anatomy. This is anatomy too. So our laboratory exercises and body systems that we will be learning about is the endocrine system, cardiovascular, blood and lymphatic, your immune system, respiratory system, digestive system, urinary system, and reproductive system. You will have to point at and label parts of both male and female reproductive systems in this course. It is the last unit of this class. You cannot skip that. We are going to approach that as adults. you will know this, right? This is your grade point scale for this. An A is anything from a 90 to 100, a B is 80 to 89, C 70 to 79, D 60 to 69, and an F is anything that's a 59 or lower. The way your exams and everything else are broken down in this course for you, your midterm is worth 30% of your grade. Your final exam is worth 30% of your grade. And any quiz or assessments, meaning your pre and post lab assignments, are 40% of your grade. You also have 6 quizzes throughout the semester that I will be plugging into the grade book. You will be taking those. The quizzes, midterm and final, for my face-to-face class are all face-to-face. For my online class, everything is online. For my face-to-face class, or for both sets of classes, both face-to-face and online, the pre- and post-lab assignments are indeed all on Blackboard. There is a no-show policy, meaning you have a no-show assignment, and in order to stay in the class beyond the first week of school, you have to complete your no-show assignment. I will show you that in just a moment when we're done with the syllabus and whatnot. There is a day that I believe it is October 27th. We will double check that because I have it written in your class schedule for withdrawal. A withdrawal, if you do not know, if you don't think your grade is enough to warrant getting into nursing school or your future goals, your grade, if you want to drop the class after add drop swap has ended in the first week, you will earn a W for the course. A W means you withdrew from the course for whatever reason, but you did not take a grade for it. Therefore, the grade would not count against you on your GPA. If you wait until after the withdrawal period to withdraw, you get a WF on your transcript, which means not only did you withdraw from the class, but you did indeed fail the class, and that does count against your GPA. So this is your final last ditch, do I want to stay in the class moment. It's October, I believe. We'll go over the date. It's in October when we look at it. My word of warning with this, though, if you choose to withdraw from the course, be aware that that may also affect your financial aid. Because a lot of financial aid is given based upon the course hours you are taking, like the number of course hours you're taking, and if you're a full-time, part-time student, if you withdraw from a class and that status changes, if you withdraw from a class and that status changes, it may affect your financial aid. You need to talk to somebody in the bursar's office or the financial aid office in order to talk to them about that. I don't know anything about your specific financial aid because that's beyond my realm of job description. I don't have access to that information. So if you need to discuss things, contact them to talk about that kind of thing. Like I said, Chattahoochee Tech prefers that you contact us via your Chattahoochee Tech email address. Right? Okay, academic integrity. Academic integrity is important. It's very important, right? If I catch you cheating on stuff, then I have to plug in a 0 for your grade. If I plug in a 0 for your grade, that's going to affect you rather badly. So if we go back up here to your percentages, if I catch you cheating on the midterm and you have a 0 for 30% of your grade, that means even if everything else you did throughout the rest of the semester was a pure 100 and perfect, the maximum grade you would get would be a 70%. Don't cheat. It hurts you, especially in this class when you have so much of your grade dependent upon 2 really big exams. Don't cheat. It's bad for you. And not only that, but most of you are trying to go into the healthcare field, and nobody wants a nurse that cheated their way through, medical school classes and doesn't know, where your veins are when they're trying to stick you with the needle, right? Nobody wants that. So subject matter disclaimer. We go over the reproductive system, and this is human body parts. You guys are going to see pictures, models, all that kind of stuff of naked people. This is not a G-rated class. So be prepared for that information. Some people are shocked by that, weirdly enough. But here's your warning. Like, the models are naked. They may be male or female. There you go. Makeup and late work policy. If you need to make up an assignment, you have to have a doctor's excuse. You can't just say, I didn't feel like taking my midterm, so I want to take it now. It has to be an excused absence, and I need proof that it is an excused absence. In order to make up something like the midterm or the final exam. I put this in. For my online people, for my online individuals, when you are taking a test or something, if you get an error message, send me a screenshot of the error message and we can fix the problem and move forward. If you're one of my in-person people, you don't have to worry about that because you're taking all of your big assignments in person. But I need doctor's notes and things like that. And you can be lenient, I can be lenient and mess around with quiz dates rather easily. But for the final exam and the midterm, if you are in my face-to-face course, those dates are pretty set in stone because somebody else is the one that sets up the models and the whole exam. You have to have an excused absence and a really good reason for us to have to rebuild an entire room for you to take a lab practicum. So please, have a reason or don't miss those 2 days. They are very, very important. I can work with you and fudge around on the regular little quizzes more often. Do not miss final, or your midterm or your final. Right? For your grades. Yeah, this is your technical difficulty section. If you are on my online class and you have technical difficulties during an exam, take a screenshot of the error message you got and email it to me immediately. Don't wait a week and a half to email me that when I have put in y'all's lab grades and now you're wondering why your grade tanked. Do not wait a week to pass the test. Address that immediately. If you don't know how to take a screenshot on your computer, I gave you instructions here. If you're on a Windows computer, Chrome, anything like that for a personal computer or PC, to take a screenshot, you hit the print screen button, which is the button next to your F12 key on your keyboard. And then from there, you can paste that image of your screen into the Paint program or some other art program on your computer, save it, and then send me the email. Or, consequently, you could also do this. You can go to your little search bar if you're running Windows 10, start typing in snip tool or scissors. You click on the snip tool, it brings up this nice little snippy tool. You can click new, right? And it gives you this little crosshair that you're seeing in the middle of the screen right there. Highlight, and it creates an image of what you just highlighted. Right, except you would save it and yada yada. Please make sure the date and time, which is this little corner down here, worth of information is visible in your screenshot. On a Macintosh or Apple computer, if you need to do a screenshot, you hit the Shift, Command, and 4 buttons on your keyboard, and that opens up the Apple equivalent of the snipping tool that I just showed you on Windows. You have an assignment schedule, right, with pre- and post-lab assignments, that kind of thing. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Copyright notice, all this kind of good stuff. The big thing here, or a couple of big things here. This is your Office of Disability and Accessibility contact information here for Title IX, Office of Disability, 504 plans, the ADA is Disability Officer Coordinator. These are all of the people you would need in the event of disabilities. So far this semester, I have no students registered for any of my classes that are known to the Office of Disabilities and that have the appropriate paperwork in place. If, however, you are an individual with a disability, for example, if you were dyslexic and you needed, instead of the hour and 15 minutes to take exams, you needed a full 2 hours to ensure that you could read the whole exam. I cannot give you that extra time until the Office of Disabilities has sent me the paperwork sign-off for it, and they know about things. Otherwise, it becomes a legal equity issue amongst students, because everything has to be kept equitable between students. If you believe, for whatever reason, you have an issue that the Office of Disabilities needs to know about, you have a seizure disorder, so there's a risk you may pass out or seize during the lab final, you need extra time on a test for whatever reason, anything like that that you may or may not need to work with me through, or that the college needs to know about, please go to the Office of Disabilities and start that paperwork process now. That way you're not coming to me the day before our midterm saying, oh, I need extra time. Because at that point, without the Office of Disabilities giving me the paperwork to sign for it, I cannot give you extra time. So please get that stuff settled early in the semester so they can tell me ahead of time, and then we can happily move forward and you can get the time you need or the accommodations you need. I just need to know about it from them first. Right? So this is their contact information. Likewise, if you need a special or disability-related face mask because of COVID, the email address is disabilityservices@chattahoocheetech.edu, is right here. That kind of good stuff. If you are on campus, they do indeed expect you and want you to use face masks this semester. So if you are on campus, you have to have a face mask while you're here. So please be aware of that. Face mask coverings, this is a COVID initiative. The school is being very careful with COVID and what will happen with it, right? They're taking this very seriously. They're watching it closely, right? Also, the very bottom of your syllabus is the Chattahoochee Tech COVID self-report form. So if we get midway through the semester and you discover that you indeed have been exposed to COVID, you can report yourself to the school. That way the school can let me know, and I can tell, for example, the Wednesday evening lab that I have, that we may need to, watch yourselves, get tested soon if you start feeling ill, that kind of thing, and we can give people a heads up about it. This is so we can notify individuals so that we can all do our best to try to be healthy. So this is your link to the self-report form. Right? And there you have it for the syllabus. Your projected learning schedule. Right? Yay, projected learning schedule. Right? So these are the dates of the weeks. Your weeks here, I have labeled by Wednesdays, not Mondays, because my in-person face-to-face class is on a Wednesday evening. Likewise, because of that, if you are expecting to see videos from me pointing out anatomy and whatnot, I likely will not upload those for my online students until Wednesday evening or sometime on Thursday, depending upon how slow the upload is. Because I won't have face-to-face time with the models until Wednesday evening when I am with my Wednesday evening class. So just be prepared for that going throughout the semester. Those will be your classes for what we need to do for my online people. But otherwise, Wednesday people, we are meeting for 2.5, 3 hours on Wednesday evenings. These are your Wednesdays of the semester. You guys will have the first system we're going to go through is your endocrine system, and then we'll do blood. On September 2nd, you have your endocrine system quiz. That is my face-to-face students. My online courses, your quizzes are because they are online, and I assume that we all take online classes for different reasons. Students who take these tests online have the exact same amount of time that the students who took them in person do. These are timed quizzes. The difference is, for in person, I'm in front of you and I'm saying, like, pointing at something saying, "What's this? Label this." For my online students, you will have an image on the computer with an arrow pointing to it that says 1, like number 1, and you will have to type back to me what number 1 is. The difference is, even though both assignments, you have the same amount of time for it, so the online ones are timed, you can't just open up the test and, like, expect to come back to it 3 hours later. You don't have 3 hours to take a 20-question lab test or lab quiz. So there you have that. Students for online courses, though, you will be able to start your quiz and finish it in one sitting, either on a Friday or a Saturday. Because this is online and some people, or because quizzes for my online students are online, and this goes for your midterm as well, you don't have a scheduled time to see me. Your big assignments like that, you will have a Friday and a Saturday to start and do. That way, if you are one of my students that only has internet while you're at work on your 9 to 5 job, Monday through Friday, you have time to do your test or your quiz, midterm, whatever then. If you're one of the people that I know that only have time to do schoolwork on the weekend because otherwise you're dealing with insanity with at-home learning and students and you have to organize childcare with your spouse, you'll have Saturdays to start your quiz. All of you have the same amount of time for quizzes or midterms. It's just my face-to-face class. Y'all will be doing it in my face on Wednesday evenings. And for my online students, based upon your life, you will have a Friday or a Saturday to choose to do this stuff because your tests will be available Friday to Saturday. But yeah, so they have different dates. That's why, if you're looking at the schedule, September 7th, which is a Monday, for those of you that have other classes, that is Labor Day holiday weekend. College is closed on Labor Day. Don't come to school that Monday. But we'll be going over circulation in your heart then, cardiovascular physiology, that kind of good stuff. Your cardiovascular system quiz is going to be in week 6. That would be September 23rd for my in-person people. And that weekend, which is the 25th and 26th, for my online people. Your midterm should be around week 8. I discussed this in my other video for my lecture, so if you're hearing this twice, you're hearing this twice. I do not control the date of midterms and finals. They tell me when your midterm is, because they have one person that is responsible for setting up all of the anatomy midterms on the Paulding campus. If that person tells me that we are doing the midterm on October 7th, congratulations, our midterm is October 7th. If they tell me that they needed to push it back to be October 14th, then you guys get an extra week and the midterm is October 14th. But they schedule when the midterm is in person. So whatever week they schedule the midterm to be is the week we will have our midterms. I'm not going to spread midterms out through multiple weeks of grading and hellish behavior, so that also counts for my online students. So whatever week they tell me my face-to-face midterm is, that is the week that my online students will also have midterm. The reason why this is also based upon changing, if you are in my lecture, I will not schedule my midterm for lecture to be the same time and weekend as your lab midterm. So you're going to have if you have me for both classes, you're going to have one midterm one week and the next midterm the next, but I'm not going to hit you with both of them in the same weekend. My job is to test your knowledge and make sure you know anatomy and know this stuff, not to kill you with a heart attack and stress. So I separate out the times. I just don't have full control over when they put the midterm. So there you have it for you guys for that one. Generally speaking, most semesters I have taught, with the exception of one single weird semester, your midterm is from endocrine system through immune system. And then respiratory system to reproductive is the final exam. Your midterm and your final are not cumulative. So your midterm is everything from the first half of the semester. Your final exam is everything from the second half of the semester. A word of warning, though, there was one really weird year where, due to medical reasons with staff, they had to push the midterm back like 2 weeks, and they did put the respiratory system on that midterm that year. I don't know why, but they did it. It was bad. I will let you guys know the closer we get to midterms what's going on with that. But for right now, assume that your midterm, or your first really, really big test, is going to be endocrine through immune and lymphatic. After that, week 10 is when you guys will have your respiratory system quiz. Week 11 is when the withdrawal deadline is. So if you were thinking of withdrawing from the class, your midterms will have been over for 2 weeks before that, so you guys will know your grades on your midterms and see how you did. So you can contemplate and have full knowledge of what you may or may not do for withdrawal, if that was a consideration of yours. Digestive system quiz will be week 12. Urinary system quiz will be week 13. Week 14 is your reproductive system quiz. And then we have Thanksgiving holiday. Huzzah, Thanksgiving holiday. We will not meet face-to-face the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Y'all are going to be driving and on planes to visit family and whatnot. I will not be posting anything specific for you online that week. I will be happily telling you to go stuff your face full of turkey, and especially the mashed potatoes, and enjoying yourself with pie, right? Because that's the purpose of that week. However, the week after Thanksgiving is going to be your lab final exam. Because we only meet 1 day a week, it would be very hard-pressed for that week to not be your lab final, even though I can't control the days of your lab final exam. That's when it's 99.9% probability of it happening then. So that Wednesday is your lab final on December 2nd. I will be giving you guys the online lab final that Friday to Saturday. I think I screwed up the dates here, actually, now that I'm looking at this. Sadness, I think I did mess this up. Okay, then. Yeah, this would be the weekend after, whatever the weekend after Thanksgiving is when your final exam is. But that's how things are going to roll for your schedule for labs. Right? Your lab safety guidelines are right here. The lab safety quiz is your no-show assignment for this course. You have to do this for both in-person, face-to-face classes and my online ones. That lab safety quiz is your no-show assignment, and I need you to complete that by Sunday. That means you need to take that lab safety quiz before Sunday, or before 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, the 23rd of August. If not, I have to report you to the college as not having shown up for the first week of classes, and then the bursar is going to drop you from the course. So go ahead and take that lab safety quiz now. Do your thing. You can take the lab safety quiz as many times as possible until you make a 100 on it. Please go ahead and do that. It may be 1% of your overall grade. Buff that tiny little 1% of your grade now, because you will be panicking about the lab midterm and final later. The second thing, right? This is your lab list. If you are meeting me in person on Wednesdays, you get an actual copy of this. But for my online people, here you go. This is the lab list for the college, and it breaks everything up. Like endocrine systems, you have to know the hormones, all this kind of stuff. So your hypothalamus, these are your regulatory hormones you need to know from it. You need to know the pituitary gland, which is also called your hypophysis. You have the front end, or the anterior portion of your pituitary, which is your adenohypophysis, and the posterior pituitary is your neurohypophysis, and these are the hormones that come from it. These are the hormones that come from that. right? So this is your lab list. It is an overall look of every word and everything else you need to know for the semester. So chambers of your heart, structures and vessels, left and right ventricles, you need to know all these parts. Left and right atria, you need to know all those parts of the heart. Coronary circulation, these are the blood vessels that are around your heart that you need to know. Heart valves, there you go, right? You need to know what the chordate tendineae are. This is the section on blood vessels. Arteries are different than veins, so you need to know this. This is a massive, big document here. I believe it is 20 some odd pages, right? So massive, big document. That is going to be your Bible for the semester, right? That is everything like your lab notebooks and the books will always have more information than what you think you need to know in them. The reason for that is because how do I put this? The people who publish this lab manual don't know if you're in nursing school, or if you're taking prerequisites for nursing school, or if you're going to be a doctor, or if you're a high school student that's doing joint enrollment. They don't know, so they just put all the information in the book, and it's up to you to discern what you need to know and don't. So all that information is there. If it is not on the lab list, you are not responsible for it. I will never throw anything at you on the midterm or final or your quizzes that is not on the lab list. If like the department head puts something on your final exam that is not on your lab list, I will conveniently discount that question, right? If it's on the lab list, it is fair game. If it's not on your lab list, you're not responsible for that information. So that lab list is everything you need to know for this lab in person. It's what you got to do for this semester. If you click on lessons, right? Exams and quizzes is a file that you guys see here. That's where I will be putting your midterm and final. And your quizzes also. If you are in my online class, it should be. There's nothing in that folder now. Because you guys don't have any quizzes yet. Huzzah, right? But laboratory exercises, right? So you have lab list, and then the different systems and other things you should be doing throughout the semester, right? If I click on endocrine system, there's a couple of things here for you, right? This is your pre-lab assignment and your post-lab assignment. You guys are adults. I assume you guys can do your pre- and post-lab assignments without having to, run the specific child, insane deadlines that a lot of the other teachers do. You guys have, for me, until the end of the semester to complete them. If you have not completed them by the time your final exam is due, congratulations, you don't get credit for them. I'm giving you a 4-month window to complete all of these for the semester. That means if you want to bank 40% of your grade right now and have that ready to go to see how midterms affect it, you can, theoretically, open up every single one of these pre- and post-lab assignments, take all of these assignments, make sure you get a 100 on all of them, and bank that 40% of your grade, and then for the rest of the semester only worry about midterm and final. If you want to keep up with learning, like this week we're doing endocrine, so you do the endocrine pre- and post-labs first, that kind of good stuff, you're more than welcome to do that too. You guys are adults. I assume you're adults. You can pace yourselves. You can know this stuff. It's up to you to time how you do them as far as I'm concerned. But these are if you have questions, feel free to ask me. But your pre- and post-lab assignments are your assignments that you have until the end of the semester to complete. That being said, I give you guys, because you are my students, a couple of extra resources. The library, especially for my online students, may not be accessible to you right now because there's a reason you may be taking this online. So I put any coloring pages that I have access to right here. If you have access to others, email them to me and I will add them into this so everybody can enjoy. Because some people do learn by coloring things in. Right? So here you have a coloring system quiz. Or not even a quiz, but the coloring system for your endocrine system. So if I have more images, I will put them here. Some units have more I have more pictures for some units than others on my computer. Also, because you guys are my students, I don't know if you're in my lecture or not, so I also give you my lecture materials here. So I will be giving you guys my lecture videos and my lecture materials, so if you need help with lecture, but you don't have me for your lecture instructor, you still have me as a resource. Feel free to ask me any questions, because I teach both lecture and lab. So all that good stuff will be here. Other than that, those are your pre- and post-lab assignments. There you go. I believe that is it for lab. I'll be posting you guys videos on Wednesday evenings, but please, 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 please take your lab safety quiz by the end of the week. I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you guys. Let me know if you need anything. Have a wonderful evening.